the last thing they said to me is, if we can't stop the bleeding, we'll have to take out your uterus. You have to sign here, like, because we have to save your life. So I went under not knowing if
you were going to wake up with a uterus,
if I'd ever have a baby. The doctor was
being
awesome.
a woman is ghetto. Men don't have to think about
ghetto. That's such a great word for it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pure and unadulterated. Every week we got you waiting. Candiace and Michael.
Hi. We're back. It's me, Candiace. Welcome to another episode of Undomesticated, darling. So I am solo dolo today. Michael is out, but I will be, as always, holding down the fort. And today's conversation is it's going to be interesting, and I'm almost kind of glad to be doing this solo, only because this is a really raw conversation that I want to invite a lot of women into. And this can be for all people, all families, all people who are in a space of looking to conceive, wanting to have children, people who already have children. But I especially want to talk to women who are thinking about having children, who maybe don't know if they want to have children. I personally was in that boat for a long time. I'm from the South. In the South, the goal is to be born, go to school, graduate, get married, and have kids. The end. And that is a lot of, I think, small town people's story. And that was mine, coming from a small-ish town in Georgia. And that's what a lot of my friends were doing. Like, they graduated, they stayed in McDonough, they got married, had their kids, and they're still there. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I respect that. But I always felt like an itch of confliction, because I knew that I wanted more than just that part of the story. Like, I knew that there were more chapters in my book, if you will. I ended up leaving home to go to college. I left and I went to Howard University. And it was the best decision I ever made. And I went from being a young woman growing up in this small town where everybody's all about getting married and having kids, and myself wanting to have, at first it was 6 kids and it was 4 kids. I wanted 2 girls and 2 boys, and then it was 2 kids. And then I get to college and I'm like, in all of these things, all of these activities, all of the desires of my heart, all of my dreams are like right in my face. And I'm like, I don't want no kids. Like, what are children? Children they're a burden. They are in the way. They slow you down. They spit up on you. They poop. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, and I did this vacillating thing for years, where I would want children and see myself as a mom, and then I would say, no, maybe I don't. And that scared me. It was like frightening. That, am I saying that I'm going to matriculate through my entire life and never have kids? Like, that's a scary thing to resign myself to. And I grappled with it for forever. And it wasn't until I met a woman in my early 30s. A friend of mine, her name is Yolanda, said to me, you need to freeze your eggs. You don't know what you want, but you don't want to get to a point in your life where you decide you're ready to have kids, and for whatever reason, you can't. Your eggs are old, your eggs are not functioning. There could be any number of complications. Freeze your eggs. And then I met this woman who was a fertility consultant who got me hooked up with the people that would eventually bring Jet into this world, help bring him into this world. And really the rest is kind of history there. But it is such a sensitive topic, but I'm at a place now where I'm so grateful that I was able to meet or come into contact with someone who wasn't afraid to tell me, freeze your eggs. You don't know what could happen. Just do it. And I'm grateful that I was brave enough to go through that journey, and it eventually ended up being the way that we brought our son into the world. And so today I'm really excited to talk to someone who has gone through a version of this journey, hills and valleys, peaks and valleys, and has come to a place of great excitement and joy. And I want to bring her in and talk to her about what her version of motherhood looks like, because there are many roads to mom. And it's exciting to be able to talk to her about hers and hopefully inspire or prepare or just offer a bit of advice to anyone out there who is in a transitioning space with motherhood and with parenthood. So let's do it. Okay, guys, I am so excited. First of all, just to catch up with this amazing person. She is a broadcaster, a podcaster. She's known for just being frank and funny and just a fool in the best way. And also just for being, in my opinion, a super duper bad bitch, brave, courageous woman for talking so candidly about her journey with her Molar pregnancy, with IVF, with her decision to go with donor eggs, and just all of the science and the stigma around this incredible journey to get to baby number 2. So without further ado, Sarah Fraser is here with us. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl. Hey. Oh my God, Candiace, that was such a nice intro. Thank you. I'm honored to be with you. I love you.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Undomesticated. I'm excited that you could be here to talk candidly just about your amazing journey. And I think you know that I also have an IVF baby.
Yes.
Jet was an IVF baby, just for a different journey, but an IVF baby nonetheless. And I love being in this community and being able to talk to women in this community, because we all have such different stories, but they all sort of lead to the same hopeful result, which is to bring a healthy, beautiful baby into the world. And you've like documented your whole life. And I have been a follower and a fan and a friend for many, many years. I know that, I don't know if people know because it's still kind of new news, but you have, I'm going to like spoil it. We're going to put the good news at the top. You have great news that I would love for you to share.
The best news is I'm pregnant with my little egg donor egg. I'm so excited. It has not been easy, as you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great to be at this point where the baby is doing really well. And even, there's just so much in pregnancy and fertility, which that women, I think, are finally kind of talking about. And I think for all the younger women that are in their 20s, that are listening to your show, hopefully they hear us and start taking action. In their 20s, because that's what I didn't do. And that is such a huge regret of mine now.
Yeah. And I thank you for that transition. I wanted to talk specifically about that. So, okay, like where do we even begin? So I'm not sure that I am familiar. KJ is an IVF baby, or he was conceived naturally?
No, KJ was conceived naturally. So I'll give
Okay.
you like a really quick history of my fertility journey.
Yes,
So
please.
first of all, I hated children until I was 35. Like
Me
I
too.
never, I feel like you and I had this in common. Like
Yes.
I was really like, I don't think I'm going to be a mom. Growing up, I never babysat ever. Like
Yeah.
never. No,
Yeah.
I never changed a diaper. I never babysat, even my
Yeah.
own niece. Like
Yeah.
I was not interested in kids. Like I was the older sibling. My brother was younger. So
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to have kids. Then I met my husband. My husband really wanted a family.
Oh,
And
Schman. Hi, Schman.
mush man. And it was really crazy. It's like what a lot of people talk about. But when I turned 35, it was like a biological clock went off. I started looking at babies and I was like, oh my God, I want one. I want one with Schman. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
And much like a lot of women, I think I fell for the whole, oh, you can have kids like till you're 40. And some women can, but lot of us can't.
Yeah.
And I even, this, but for a long time I worked in radio in the DC market. So I was on a show called The Kane Show on Hot 99.5. And the craziest part was I actually had Shady Grove Fertility come to me twice and offer to freeze my eggs when I was in my late 20s and early. And I said no. I was like afraid of the procedure.
Wow.
And let me tell you, the procedure, as you know, you've had IVF.
Yes.
That compared to the miscarriages, the DNCs. By the way, I had a partial molar pregnancy, which is so rare. And then
and I want you to explain what that is and how that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So at 35, Schman and I got married when I was like 36. I was pregnant the first time at 37, naturally.
Wow.
First time we tried. So excited.
Wow.
I'm like, this is so easy.
Yeah.
Went for the first couple of appointments were, everything was normal. And then because I was over 35, they said at the 12-week mark, we want you to
You're an old bitch.
I'm an old bitch.
You're an old bitch. Yeah.
Oh,
we're geriatric.
Very geriatric, honey. So they go, we want you to go see the geriatric OB.
Yeah.
So I did. And that feeling like when I walked in, the woman doing the sonogram, I mean, within minutes, I knew something was majorly wrong. Like she was so quiet. She was her face. She was so quiet. She was like, I'll be right back. We saw the baby. Like we saw the baby on the monitor. We saw the heartbeat. So we're like, sure, she's just going to get the doctor.
Right.
Doctor came in and she just was really blunt with us. And she says, you're having something called a partial molar pregnancy, which is when 2 sperm fertilize 1 egg and your baby is not going to live. The doctor was basically like, this baby is not going to live. It was such a whirlwind. And so, first of all, I actually didn't believe her. Like, I was like, oh, there's no way. Like, I saw the baby, like, I saw the heartbeat. So I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a second opinion. So probably 4 or 5 days later, by the time I had gone for a second opinion, the baby had no heartbeat, which in hindsight was truly a godsend though, because if I had to have made that choice, whether to turn, because they were saying that, they were like, you need to think about like, if you're going to keep this baby or not, because if this child is born, it's going to have all these defects, like all these, it's going to be, it's not going to live to like adulthood. Oh my God, Candiace, it was such an emotional time. So by the time I got the second opinion, that doctor confirmed I was having a partial molar pregnancy. The baby had passed and I had to have a DNC. And so they had said to me, with partial molars, all these little cysts grow in your placenta and your uterus because it's such this abnormality. Again, super rare, but somebody listening to this will know someone that's had it. So I had a DNC. And I just never stopped bleeding. Like usually after a DNC, you have some bleeding, or after you have a baby for a little while, it was getting worse. It was getting heavier, like all the things they tell you. I was soaking through pads. And so basically they were like, they went in, they did a blood test and they said, we actually think we didn't get everything. Like you are developing a pregnancy cancer. Yeah. So long story short, even it kind of got worse because they also said, look, if you wake up and start hemorrhaging, which basically is like a little faucet of blood that starts and it doesn't stop, you need to call 911 and you need to get here as soon as possible. But they're like, but don't worry, that it never happens. Anyway, a few days later, I wake up in the morning and I start hemorrhaging. Call 911. Yeah. Had to
Oh
have
my
emergency
God.
surgery. And when I went under, the last thing they said to me is, if we can't stop the bleeding, we'll have to take out your uterus. You have to sign here, like, because we have to save your life. So I went under not knowing if
you were going to wake up with a uterus.
if I'd ever have a baby. The doctor was
Being
awesome.
a woman is fucking ghetto. Men don't have to think about
Ghetto. That's such a great word for it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
That's crazy.
So wait,
So
this is pre-KJ or post-KJ?
Pre-KJ.
This is all before you even had the baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So the doctor team was awesome. They were super optimistic. And after I came out of surgery, then I started on methotrexate shots, which a lot of people will know is a form of chemo, very light form. They just inject it in your hip.
Okay.
So I started those. I had 5 rounds of that, and that completely killed the mole. I had to wait about 5 months to try again for my son.
Okay.
And then at 38, I tried again for KJ. I got pregnant the very first time, and KJ, that pregnancy was awesome. It was like, it was during COVID. There was nobody to see. There was no pressure. There was no baby shower. It was like lovely. It was just myself and Schman.
In peace.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Easy birth. It was so awesome. So life was great. Had him at 39. And then after that, and again, a lot of women get very lucky in their 40s and have healthy kids. But since I had KJ, I've had 3 more miscarriages in my 40s. Basically, I'm 43 now. Every single year since then, I have had a miscarriage.
So these miscarriages have been as a result of trying naturally, or is this all via IVF?
No, trying naturally. So my girlfriends in my 40s always say, like, Laura, you can get, like, Schman looks at you and you can get knocked up, but like you can't keep the baby. I'm like, I know. I can get knocked up, but I gotta stay that way.
Yeah.
But I'm your typical person over 40 that they talk about, where, once you get over the age of 35, every single year, more and more of your eggs become abnormal. And it's really hard. You can do all these diet things, but the truth of the matter is you just really can't fight biology. And that's me,
And what people don't realize about women and our uteruses is that women are born with all of the eggs they will ever have. So when you are in utero, in your mother's uterus, and you're growing and developing and your mother's gestating, you are creating all of the eggs you will ever have. And then when you're born around whatever, 10, 11, 12, well, now kids are getting their periods at like 8. We need to work on that. I got my period at 12. Around 12, you have your period and you shed the lining of your uterus, and you lose eggs every year from your first period until menopause. So by the time you are 38 years old, I had Jet at 37. What am I? 37. My eggs would have been 37 years old. I actually froze eggs and froze embryos at 35. So I had 35-year-old eggs. And women who are, able to carry a pregnancy to term in their 40s, they are literal like unicorns, because those are older eggs. And the older the eggs get, as you age, you get wrinkles. You become less spry, and the same thing happens to your eggs. So yeah, it's a miracle. Childbirth in itself is a miracle, but it's a miracle to be, at post 30, they're post 35, when you become a geriatric pregnancy. It is a miracle to conceive and carry to term. So,
yes.
Okay, so you are 40 what now? And
43.
You've had...
So since I turned 40, I've had 3 miscarriages. All have been, by the way, chromosomal issues, right? So the last miscarriage I had was actually March of 2025. And that baby had Down syndrome and Turner syndrome. So my doctor's like, you need to get on your knees and thank God, because Turner syndrome kids don't live to adulthood. They're like, this is the greatest gift. So I always looked at it that way too. Like I just always pray to God. I'm like, I want a healthy baby. That's all I want. Like however that's going to be, like I want the healthiest child. So, you know,
how are you, if I may ask, and if you
course.
don't want to answer any questions, you don't have to answer any questions.
Oh God, you know me. No.
Well, yeah, but I know you, but I want to give you that space.
Thank you.
So like I have friends who've had miscarriages, and some of them, everybody handles grief differently. How have you, because you, from the outside looking in, you are up, you're working, you're taking care of your son, you have makeup on, you are dressed, you are moving about the cabin of life freely. And, you know, within the walls of your home, within the walls of your family, you are dealing with what many would consider a grave, tragic events. And you still seem to be able to show up. Like, how are you doing that?
Well, I certainly have had really low days, really low, really sad. I talk about those on the podcast.
Yes.
I document some of those. It's been very hard. Like I grieve it, but like I said, I've two things. One, I think because maybe I never was attached to this idea of like having a child. From 35 on, I always was like, God, I'm open to like however you want me to have a family.
Yeah.
And like, even that's why I'm like egg donor. A lot of people ask me, they're like, gosh, don't you have like hesitations? It's not your DNA.
I have so many questions.
Oh my God, fire away.
Yes.
And you know, I didn't even know this. I mean, we're Catholics, but we're not like hardcore Catholics. But I've even had hardcore Catholics say to me, oh, you know, that's like against the Catholic Church, you know, your religion. I don't care.
Listen,
so
you worry about what's going to happen to you at the gates, ma'am. Sir, mind your business.
Like, I don't care.
Yes.
I believe God made science too. I've always been open. And even after I have this baby that I'm pregnant with, I really have always wanted to foster to adopt. I don't know if it will be for me because that's a very long journey, but I want to try it. So I've just always been open. And I always think that God works for you. I just think it's like I said, I've had these really wild chromosomal issues. And I really think that God is like, you know, just helping me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would be so hard to bring a baby, I think, into this world who is so chromosomally, you know, not going to live to adulthood. I think that trauma and pain would be so much harder for me than these miscarriages.
Yeah.
Not that they have been easy at all. And even like this pregnancy, it's a healthy pregnancy, but it's really triggered me throughout the whole thing because I'm like, oh, did I really resolve the grief with these miscarriages? Because you're kind of like, you go to these appointments, the doctors are so positive. They're like, you're not miscarrying. And then like 3 or 4 days later, that creeps back in and you're like, but what if, like, what if, you know, nothing is 100% guarantee. And so
have you and or Schman done therapy to kind of work through any of it?
Yeah, we've gone to a lot of therapy. We've probably been in couples therapy together like for 7 years continually. So
successful marriage. Yes, that's the key. Because marriage is also ghetto. Just putting that out there. Okay, listen, these men are aliens. Okay, like I don't know how the people, I guess the Lord decided that we belong together, but it's just I look at Chris. I love Chris, and sometimes I'm like, where did you come from? Like, why are your socks here? Like, why are your underwear there? Why are you this way? So,
not easy.
Kudos to you guys, truly, because that's the key. Is like, you gotta keep a non-biased third party in the mix. I think to kind of keep it together. But for you all, especially, because you're dealing with just being married and not having to deal, I would think, with existential crises and deal with trauma is hard enough. Like being married is hard enough. And then you add to it this other set of challenges that you've been tasked to deal with. And it can alter like the chemistry of a marriage if you're not in the right space, the right frame of mind.
Totally. You nailed it.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to, okay, I have to look at I've not looked at my notes one time because I'm just so like enamored
Yeah.
with this story. So at what point did you make the decision to go from trying naturally to we would like to consider donor eggs? And explain what a donor egg is, how you come about receiving a donor egg. And then I have another question after that, but I want you to answer that first.
Look, I was ready to move on to donor eggs 2 years ago after we had when I was 40, I had like another miscarriage at 12 weeks, which was like a chromosomal, which is very late. Usually you have
Yeah.
very early miscarriages.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 12 or 13 weeks on that one. So after that, I was ready to move on. But actually, the egg bank that I got my eggs from that I started talking to, they said, you really should try one round of IVF because you don't ever want to have a what if. Like, hey, what if my own eggs would have worked? And with
Yes.
me, I was obviously getting pregnant. So I had enough eggs. It's just
Right.
they weren't chromosomally normal.
Right.
So I did a round of IVF 41 heading to 42. It did not work. It failed miserably. I think they actually never even did the retrieval because the day before retrieval, instead of eggs growing, mine all shrunk. I think the day before retrieval, I was down to like 4. So they were
my gosh.
Yeah, you're, we can do this, but it's not looking great. And I think at that point, the egg had become so big, they felt they were chromosomally compromised. Anyhow, it was a mess. Again, I thought that was a very clear sign from God.
Yeah.
IVF is not working for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of it. Then we got very serious about looking for egg donors, which takes a minute because you go to this basically online catalog and you read through all these women's profiles. And, it's like you have to make a decision on what things matter. Do you want a woman that went to an Ivy League school? Do you care about that? Do you want somebody, they have to disclose everything. So some of them are on antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them admit to past drug use. It's hard. It's like so you kind of have to sift through and there's really no perfect donor,
Yeah.
I mean, my first one was a woman I loved. She was like, basically, I'm doing this for the money and I've done cocaine in the past. I'm like, this is my type of girl. Like this.
Oh my God, Sarah, please. What? Okay. I love the honesty.
This is because a lot of them lie. They're like, oh, I don't smoke weed. I don't drink. I'm like, oh my God, please. I mean, do I think you're 25 and you're not out drinking every weekend or smoking weed? Give me a break.
Yes.
I mean, just tell me the truth.
Keep it real. Yes.
Yeah. Did you refrain from smoking pot when you were doing your retrieval? That's all I really care about.
Right.
So so I liked the girl that was the cocaine girl, but anyhow, she didn't have then you find out when you're going through these egg banks, they only have X amount of times they can donate and they only have X amount of eggs.
Right.
So we were told, if you want one baby, you need to purchase 8 eggs. So cocaine girl only had 6 eggs left, so I couldn't use her.
Okay, darn.
So darn.
I hope she's well wherever she is.
I hope she's doing great.
Yeah.
Then there was another girl I really liked, but she was 6 feet tall. Man's 6 feet tall. He's like, okay, are we gonna have a son who's probably 5'8" and a daughter 6'2"? I'm like,
we don't want to bruise KJ's ego. Let him have something. Yes.
So we didn't go with Amazon girl. So it was it takes a while. So it took us a couple months to find a profile of a woman that we liked. And you also have to look at their success rate. Have they had their own children and had success?
Right.
Have they donated prior? How many times? Have they had any live births from their eggs? Those are all big things that you have to take into account.
Yeah.
So we ended up finding the woman we went with now and loved her. She was great. She was in nursing school. She had 2 of her own kids and she really wanted to be in some aspect of women's fertility. And she'd seen so many women struggle. It was important for her to donate her eggs because she knew she didn't want to have any more kids.
Right.
So I loved her message about that. I thought that was just sincere and I liked her profile.
Yeah.
So we purchased the 8 eggs, which by the way, was about $20,000. It's about $30,000 to do a egg donor buy the eggs and a transfer. So it's not
So
cheap.
the eggs is $20K, and then there's a separate fee to actually transfer
Oh
the
yeah.
eggs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
that's why? Because I'm thinking about like, so I did 2 rounds of IVF. I think I paid like $30,000 total, and that was like for everything. So why is this
Really?
more expensive?
Well, maybe one, it's California, so everything's more expensive
Ah,
here.
okay. California
But
eggs are more expensive. Keep that in
it,
mind, people.
I think
Yes.
it's one is
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
But the clinic, the IVF clinic, which they were great, that did the that created the embryos and then did the transfer. They charge you, sonograms. They charge
Oh,
you
yeah.
for all your blood work.
Yep.
They charge you to create the embryos. They
Yeah.
charge you to monitor them. They
It's
charge
nickel
you
and
to
diming. It's
right.
like Spirit Airlines, but for
Yeah,
babies.
you got it.
Yes. Like
You got
you
it. Yeah.
charging you for the seatbelt, for the water, for the peanuts, for the eggs, for the drugs, for everything. I was actually talking to my mom about talking to you. And she asked me a question that I feel like a lot of people would be curious about. Because she kind of likened egg donation to adoption. And she talked about how, and I feel like other people would think this way too. She talked about how when someone adopts a child, eventually down the road, it's human behavior for people to question, their past and question their roots and want to find their biological parents. Was that something that you all thought about, something that you all considered, something that you all worried about when you started the journey of looking for egg donors?
Yeah, I think that's why I just have like this open, honest policy from the beginning. Like, obviously, this child is going to know they're an egg donor because I've been on like 25 podcasts and my own. Like, there's
Sure.
100 episodes out there. So
Yeah.
this little boy or girl is going to know from the beginning. I always think honesty is the best policy, even when
Yes.
they're little and they don't quite get it.
Yeah.
And I think when you're honest too, that takes away a lot of the mystery around it.
Yes.
The clinic we were at, the woman was open to being contacted as the child
Oh,
got
great.
older. I think there's like an age, I don't know if it's 18. I think there's some sort of 16. There's some like age limit where basically both the donor bank and the egg donor themselves like agree to, at that point, if the baby wants to reach out, they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any hesitancy around that at all. And I think I equate it to, in your life, I bet there are people in your life and Chris's life that are not blood related to you, but mean so much to you
Oh,
and are
yeah.
like family. And you're like, I'd be so devastated without this person.
Yes.
And I feel like that's how I've always felt about this baby. Like,
Yeah.
this baby is ours,
Yes.
and like, it's the only parents they're going to know.
Ever know. Yeah.
And to me, I feel that way about like, if I were to be so blessed to foster, to adopt, like that child's in my life for a reason.
Yes.
And I also look at, this too. You've got friends. A lot of people have their own biological kids who then grow up and never speak to them, have nothing
Yep.
to do with them. So to
Yep.
me, it was very easy to make this decision. It's
Yeah.
about the relationship you create with your child. And, sometimes you try to do everything right and families don't work, kids
Yep.
reject you, whatever, but all you can do is like do your best. I think be as honest as you can and hopefully create a family where, for
There's
generations you
love.
all get along. There's love. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. And then have you discussed or will you discuss with KJ, like what is happening? And how has he responded?
KJ knows we are having another baby. He knows he's having a sibling. He
Okay.
only wants a brother. He is not
Oh,
interested in a sister.
girls are
Uh,
gross.
Girls are different. At 4.5, he is not interested in girls whatsoever. He wants someone
Perfect.
to play cars, Hot Wheels, trains.
Of
So
course.
he says all the time, "Can I see him? Can I see the baby? Can I see him?" And so I said, "Well, he's growing." And he goes, "Where?"
Yeah.
And he's going to come out of you, out of your feet. And I said, "Well, close enough."
Yes. We'll go with that for now. Oh God. I love children's minds because like, yes, where else would it come from? Your feet.
Mommy, he's
Yes.
going to come out of your feet. And I said, well,
Yeah.
yeah, he is. And you'll see him then.
That's amazing. Oh, do you all have names picked out for either gender?
No. And do you know we're not even going to find out the gender of this? We're going to be completely surprised.
I
We are
love
going
that.
to the hospital with a pink onesie and a blue, and
I
that's
love
it.
it. I love it.
I'm gonna be
I'm
shocked.
too OCD. I'm a freak. I'm a lunatic. I couldn't do it. But I highly respect and have so much adoration and admiration for people that can do that. And I think it speaks to your like the badass wild side of you, cuz I'm not that badass. I'd be like I need to decorate. I need like what colors are the nursery? I can't do neutral color. I need to like have what I need for the child before the child comes out of my feet. So, kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. We just thought about it this time. We were like, you know what? I don't know. We've been down this path, I think, too. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me, too, is like, is it a level of like protection, too? Like, you don't get too wound up in like the
Yeah.
gender and all that. Is it a safety mechanism?
Yeah.
But I think, too, there's a level of like, this is probably the last like healthy baby I'm going to carry. So it's like, yeah, let's be surprised. Why not? And
Yeah.
now we know what to do, right? We know like
Yes.
we've already got all the wipies and the,
Yeah.
it's easy to get the diapers. So
Yeah.
let's be surprised.
We kind of did that. We did a version of that, and it drove me crazy with Jet. So we banked our embryos, and when it was time to do a transfer, I was like, I want a girl, and we just put a girl in. And Chris was like, no, this whole process has been very regimented. And, it's like you know every step before it comes, and it's all prepared, and it's all like written down, and it's science. So he's like, I really just want like one thing to be a surprise. So can we just like have them put in a random embryo, and we know they're all healthy. They've all been genetically tested. They all are, sitting ready to go in the freezer. So let's just pick one and throw it in and be surprised when we do the reveal at whatever time. And I was like, okay, fine. And in my head, I'm like, it's going to be fine because girls are stronger than boys anyway, and I'm going to get a girl. And just, yeah, this is what I'm thinking. And then, so then I'm like walking around in the world pregnant, and everybody I see is like, oh, you're having a boy. And I was like, middle finger to you. No, I'm not. And I'd be like, why do you think that? And everybody would say, have you ever heard this? That girls take all your beauty and boys don't. So people would say, you still look really good. So you're having a boy because you're not ugly. And I'd be like, well, damn, that's rude. And then, but the kicker, yes, the kicker that where I kind of felt like I had to accept it. We were in New Orleans for Essence Fest. And, New Orleans is like spooky. There's a lot of stuff that goes on down there.
Oh, yeah.
And we were in the cab going to the airport, me and my mom, and I was very pregnant. And the driver is like, oh, I see. He was like, I didn't know you had a condition, which I guess means I'm pregnant. Right. Having a pregnancy is a condition. And he's like, well, do you want to know what you're having? And I was like, okay. And we get out of the car. He comes around to me. He gets in my face. He pulls my eye down and looks in my eye, and then pulls my other eye down, looks in my eye, and he goes, you're having a boy. And I said, now how the hell you know that? And he was like, something about like the way the sun was shining into my cornea. It was some nonsense that I was like, you're crazy. But then I was like, well, wait, what if he's right? Like, everyone's been saying a boy, and now this voodoo Uber driver is saying I'm having a boy. So maybe I'm having a boy. And my mom was like, well, at least you won't have to do any hair. And then we did the reveal. And I remember being like excited, but then we did like a reveal where we blindfolded ourselves and like dipped our hands in paint, and there was paint everywhere. So I went to take a shower, and I'm in the shower, and I cried because I was like, I wanted a girl. But then when Jet came out, I just forgot. And I now could not imagine having anything else. Like, he is every mother says this, but he is a literal perfect baby. He is like my favorite. I tell him all the time, "You're my favorite boy." I'm obsessed with him. I love him so much, and
Oh, yeah.
it was supposed to be this way. I feel like, because I think I was putting too much pressure on myself to have a girl, and it wouldn't have gone as smoothly. I think I would have just made myself crazy trying to be this amazing girl mom. And God said, you need to have a boy first. And so now I feel like the pressure has been taken off of motherhood for me, and I can just have my girl and not be a lunatic. So
Totally. Oh my
I
God.
wish that for you, whatever you have.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I really don't care. I was with you. I was like, oh, I want a girl. I want a girl. But boys are so much fun, and all the
Yeah,
stereotypes.
and they love their moms.
Oh, they love their mothers. And there's just nothing sweet. Like as Jet gets to be 3 and 4, and like KJ wants to snuggle every night in bed.
I love
and
the
it's just
snuggle.
the best.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's
Oh.
like, you're like, this is heaven. Like he's
I
going to
love
be
it.
a man someday, but this is like, the
I know,
best.
and I think about that too. I think about like one day, is some woman going to come and take my son? Like, I don't like this.
I know.
I'm not ready for that.
Well, that'll
Yeah.
be your time for another reality show because, you'll be.
I don't want to be that mom, but I feel it in my bones. Like, I feel it coming. Okay, but look, pray for me. Okay, I know you have to run. I want to quickly play this little. It's not a game, but it's the way that I like to close the show. As you know, and you are this way as well. Very opinionated, always opining, and sometimes as we opine, people don't want to hear our opinions. So this segment is called "Nobody Asked Me, But," because I'm gonna give it to you anyway. So This is your moment to let it rip. Give the people whatever unsolicited opinion is on your dome.
We just bought our first house here in California.
Congrats.
Nobody asked me, but I really wish I knew that the moment you buy a house, like instantly something goes wrong. Instantly,
Yes.
we moved in, no effing AC. The AC's broke.
Of course. Yes.
Okay, so no one asked me, but I already hate being a homeowner. So there's that. Nobody asked me.
Okay, so thank you for your takes. Well, you kind of said this earlier. Nobody asked me, but I used to think that I hated kids, but I was just afraid of them. Like, children are scary. They bite. They, like, eat off the floor. They, like, pee in diapers. Like, they stare at you for no reason. Children are, like, weird and scary. And then when they start talking, it's like, why are you talking to me? This is how I used to be. I was not a kid person. And I would like run from them like the plague. And then I had one, and now I'm like, oh, this is not that bad. You're like, I just didn't know. I didn't know. Like, I think I just needed to like get like peed on one time. And then it's like baptism by baby pee. And now I'm like, oh.
Are you and Chris those parents? Like, I don't know. I know that you know this, but like back in the day in DC, we'd all go to these like fancy restaurants and everything. And I would like be so upset about the people that brought their kids. And now I go everywhere. I go to Beverly Hills Hotel. I go everywhere I just bring him in, and I know, and people are looking at me like, ugh. And I actually don't care. And I think to myself, no, I was that woman.
Yes.
I totally get it. Now I just don't care. I bring him to every 5-star restaurant that people
everywhere. We're going to the Ritz. We're going to Rigatoni's. We're going to Red Lobster. We're going to Nobu. We're
I brought him to Nobu.
Pull up. And I dare you to say something to me. And I know I was that person too. But it's like, it's almost like I'm going to troll you. Like, yes, do you have a problem? Yes, I'm in Nobu and I'm feeding my 1-year-old sushi. Do you have a problem? Put your eyes back in your head. Like, this is not up for discussion. Yes, that is me. Like, Jet goes with me. He is with me now. He is everywhere with me. Like, he's always with me. So yes, I'm a reformed woman. The changes that happen. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. Okay, I know you have to run. So I have to thank you sincerely. And I know you've talked about this a lot, and I feel like you like are making a concerted effort to talk about your journey, because you know that it's going to help a lot of women and educate a lot of people on just the perils and the joys and the pains of momming and becoming a mom and what that looks like and becoming a parent. So just from a new mom to an OG mom and someone who is soon to be a new mom again, in Jesus' name, I tip my Telfar hat to you and all of the hats in my closet to you, because you are liberating a lot of people, a lot of women, and what you have had to go through and deal with is insane. And you still have all of your wits and your edges and your boobs. And it's incredible. Yes, you still have titties. And congratulations on your soon to be gestating pregnant boobs, because those were the greatest. My titties are dead. They died. They died.
Thank you. That means a lot. I hope it does help somebody. And I hope it helps a woman not to give up, because
yes.
I think, look, you're a woman that's had an incredible career already, but there's nothing to me more rewarding than building a family, building a life with your husband, and the joy that KJ brings to us, and the fun. And it's, to me, that is like the ultimate. And so I hope some woman hears this that's on the fence about having a kid and it becomes open, because I will say, every woman I know who's been open to how that baby comes, whether it's adoption, egg donor, natural birth, IVF, they end up having the perfect child at the perfect time that is meant for them. The journey is hard. It is sad at times. But if I can just, if someone can look at me and go, well, look, she's doing an egg donor at 43 and she's tried all these things and she seems happy, like, do it, do it. So if it inspires one person, it's worth it.
You've done more than enough. More than enough.
Thank
you, Sarah.
I love you, girl.
You're amazing. I love you too. And good luck with the house.
Thank you.
Great luck and great well wishes on this new bundle of joy. And say hi to Shman for me.
I will. You too, my friend. Say hi to Chris. We'll see you soon.
Yes. All right. Love
Bye,
ya.
girl. Yeah, love you too.
Oh my God. That was like a wild conversation. Sarah, I've known Sarah for a long time, and she's always seemed to take everything in stride. So I'm really grateful that she came here to talk about her journey. I like talking about these things, and I like that there are other women who are willing to share of their journey in this way, because I know that I was really conflicted at one time in my life about whether or not I even wanted kids. And then when I decided I wanted them, it's like, okay, how do I bring them into the world? And you don't ever know what your journey is going to look like until you get there. I think OBGYNs won't tell you this, but like every birth is a literal miracle, and they're all different, because you're squeezing a human being through a canal that is like this size. Heads and shoulders and knees and toes. It's crazy. Like childbirth. And when you think of all the billions of people in the world, you all came through a canal, or you came out of a stomach if you were a cesarean, but you came into the world. It's insane. So thank you to Sarah. I'm sending love and kudos to all families who are in a vacuum of trying to conceive, whether you are in the beginning, the middle, or close to the end. My heart is with you, goes out to you. This motherhood is wild. It's beautiful and it's colorful, and but it's a little ghetto. It's a little ghetto. So I'm standing in solidarity with you. And as we always say, may your life be soft, may your boundaries be strong, and may your group chat stay private. See you next time on Undomesticated. Undomesticated is presented by Odyssey and Agenda Management and Production. Our executive producers are Brandon Sharp from Agenda Management and Production and Corinne Gilliard-Fisher. Our executive producer from Odyssey is Leah Reese-Dennis. Miguel Contreras is our senior producer. Michael Arsenault and Candiace Dillard Bassett are our producers. Sound design, Video production and engineering by Miguel Contreras. Booking by Jillian McEwen. Original music by Candiace Dillard Bassett, Nairi Davidson, and Donald Hazel Sales. Special thanks to Nairi Davidson, Maura Curran, Josefina Francis, Hillary Schuff, Eric Donnelly, Kate Hutchinson Rose, Lauren Lombardi, David Gannon, Kurt Courtney, and Lauren Vieira.
It's a lot of names.